Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of our Velolien Matsuyama playthrough. Last episode we didn't get that victory, we are still chasing it, but we got a decent amount of points, and this time we're hoping to do the same in this episode, maybe with a victory. Again, we are chasing that victory. Starting off here with the Tour de Loire et Cher, a French race with 5 stages, all of them flat, so it should be perfect for the sprinters hoping to get a victory here, or at least a top 10 in the general classification. That is what we will aim for today in this race. Next up, we have the Rutland Mountain Cycle Classic, a very flat race according to the projection here, but look at the race itself. It is hilly, it is full of cobble paths, and it will wreck our riders here. It is not a race that we have experience with, as we just basically do flat races, so this race will be extremely difficult. And talking about difficult races, the GP of Vorarlberg is another one that is extremely difficult. A lot of hills here in that race, and that final section of this race will be the most crucial one. Let's see if we can perform there with our riders. Last but certainly not least, it is the Grand Prix Herning. This flat race again with a lot of cobbled sections will be very difficult for our riders. We don't have the cobbled stats, but I'm hoping for them to upset here and get a good result in these day stages. Now let's quickly move on to the first stage of the Tour de Loire et Cher, a flat race here with 2 mountain sections at the beginning, a sprint, intermediate sprint as well, where we might be able to get some bonus seconds, which would be good for the general classification. Once again, the commentator is not here, so I will be commentating here for you in the first part of these stages, with a flat section here where we're hoping obviously to try and do well with our sprinters. You see here we brought Hino, who has minus statistics in this race, so not looking super great here for us in this stage or in this race. Most of our riders not looking too good statistics wise, and we know that the statistics are incredibly important in Pro Cycling Manager 25, so we want to do well here with the team. We want to have riders that are good in their statistics to perform properly as well. So we'd send some riders here towards the front, make sure that we try and be part of a breakaway, but a breakaway has already formed 4 riders here in front of us, trying to gain on the peloton, trying to form that breakaway while we make sure that Hino is in the peloton protected. And well, for that final sprint section, it seems to go slightly uphill in that section, but it should fit him rather well. A little bit of a puncher effort here, maybe he can do something there in that final area of this stage. Joining us now here in the last 8 kilometers of this stage, as we are setting up here towards that final sprint. Our sprint train is going. We seem to have plenty of energy remaining here for these sprints, so we are looking rather strong here, unexpectedly I should say, as we normally don't do very well here at the end of these stages. Stamina is important, and we lose a lot of that towards the end of these stages. Now we're moving up here in the peloton, trying to get towards the front. You see that corner there brought us all the way out of position, so it's not looking great here for the sprint train. We're trying to move back towards that front. Other teams are blocking up, trying to make sure that they have their sprint train in perfect position. I'm messing up the sprint train a little bit here, not making sure that our riders have a good positioning. Other riders, again, the corner not doing well here. Other riders already sprinting here. We're sprinting rather late after the 1 kilometer mark. We are blocking our own riders here towards the end of this race, so not a good sprint here once again for us. We were not very well positioned here in the peloton, and that made sure that we got a very poor sprint at the end as well. Those corners moving us backwards in the peloton. Hino finishing the best of the team in 23rd there, as you saw very quickly. So going to the general classification, Hino in 26th, not getting any bonus seconds either. Not a great start here of the French race. A frustrating first race here for us today, as we have a bit of a frustrating couple of episodes in the previous 2 episodes as well. We're hoping for that victory, and once again we are not showing a good performance here in this stage. 26th position at the moment, with only 10 seconds off the lead. The points or the bonus seconds in the intermediate sprints seem to be the most important factor here of this race, so it's important to get those here in this race. On to the second stage, where there's only 1 intermediate sprint, and once again a very flat race, so it will definitely end up in a mass sprint. But can we get any of those bonus seconds here today with the team in those intermediate sprints? That will be the question. Hopefully we can get someone in the breakaway, but look at where our team is. They are stuck in that peloton. Hino far towards the back, so it will be very tricky for us to make sure that we get up front here. My apologies, by the way, for the little bit of stuttering or frame rate issues that we're having at the moment. You see, at the final race of this episode, I finally managed to fix that here, and in the coming episodes, that will be fixed as well. So slowly but surely improving the episodes that we have at the moment. As you see here, I'm trying to move up Hino in the peloton. Hino not in a great position at the start of this race. There are bonus seconds to be had here. The peloton is racing after the breakaway that is trying to form here up ahead. If we can get up front here in the peloton, maybe we can jump away or try to be part of that breakaway when the riders in front are caught, and maybe get some additional bonus seconds here in this race. You see now the peloton or the breakaway got caught. Hino made sure that he was part of that breakaway, doing an incredible job here. Sprinting now towards the first place in the intermediate sprint here. So great job here by Hino, getting 3 additional bonus seconds in this race. Great job here by our Japanese rider. Now Suzuki as well, doing a good sprint here towards that intermediate sprint, the line of the intermediate sprint, gaining the 3rd position in the intermediate sprint, making sure that we got 4 bonus seconds total here with the team. Great result here for the team. Let's hope we can do another great result here towards the end of this race, as you're joining now with 9 kilometers left to go. Once again, I'm setting up that sprint train, but Hino is being blocked out here. Our main sprinter here, you see Shinkai moving backwards, trying to pick him up, making sure that he can weave through these other riders that are trying to block off our team. You see the shoulder bashing and elbows have begun. Our riders are getting out of position here. Hino with effort trying to move his way up towards the wheel of Shinkai. A tough situation here for the team as we are struggling here in this sprint train. 5 kilometers remaining, so we're trying to just make sure that we are up front as far as possible. Again, Hino finally manages to get the wheel of Shinkai, the corner here, pushing us down 3 positions. So Katsura needs to move up forward here in this race, trying to make sure that he gets our riders towards the front, trying to deliver our riders towards the front of this race. You see me another mistake here with the pacing, as Shinkai loses out on a ton of positions here at the end of the race with only 70 effort, trying to move him upward, but once again the other sprinters too quick here for us, and we don't do another we don't do a good sprint once again. Late here on the pedals, late here on that sprint effort. Hino with lots of energy remaining. We should have sprinted way earlier with him, used up some of that energy, and we get around a 20th position once again here with our riders. 23rd and 25th place here for 2 of our Japanese riders. The bonus seconds, however, moving us up immensely. What a great result here for the team at the moment. 2 riders in the top 10. Something to be proud of here in this stage. Hino moving up with those 3 bonus seconds. The bonus seconds are crucial here for the general classification, as most of these races will end up in a mass sprint. That means that we need to be positioned properly towards the front, towards the breakaway, and make sure we are in the breakaway with our sprinter. He might not be able to win in these sprints at the end of the stage, but he can win the sprints towards the intermediate sprints, so why not? And we are first in the team classification as well. That is something that almost never happens here with the team, so a great result here for us after 2 stages. The 3rd stage is much hillier, some cobble sections as well, so this will be a very tricky one. And again, we are far in the back of this peloton. We are not positioned properly here. Once again, I would have loved to be a little bit more up front. There is an intermediate sprint relatively at the beginning of this stage, so the more towards the front that we are, the better it can be for us. You see one rider breaking away, the peloton not really riding after them, so it does seem that they will be okay with anyone here in the breakaway. Sending out Hino once again to try and be part of that breakaway, trying to make sure that he gets the bonus seconds in that intermediate sprint. That is the goal for today. 3 additional bonus seconds could make sure that he moves up in the general classification. Once again, I don't think he'll get a top 3 position here, because those bonus seconds at the end are just too valuable, and we keep losing the mass sprints at the end. But we can get into a top 5 position or maintain that top 10 position here with our riders. And Hino does get into the breakaway and sprints once again, as it's looking like towards the first place in the intermediate sprint. Yes, he does. Another first place here in the intermediate sprint. And they sprint a little bit late here with Suzuki to try and cover off any of the other sprinters here in this race. So I'm not sure if he actually managed to get it, but at least 3 bonus seconds here for our rider. Suzuki actually managed indeed once again to get that last bonus second at the intermediate sprint. So a great job here by our team once again getting those 4 bonus seconds in this race. And now we move on once again to that last section of this race, teeing up for that mass sprint. This is a very difficult hilly section here for our riders. We are not well versed in these hills. You see other riders also struggling here as we move our sprint train up forward. Hino once again trying to position in the last wheel, shoulder barging and elbows all around here in this race, while other riders are already sprinting forwards here in these corners, trying to make sure that their sprint trains are protected and are doing well here towards the front of this race. A little bit of a cobbled section here, which makes it even more tricky for us to do well, as you see us moving back here in the peloton. A tough ride here for us in this final part of this stage. 4 kilometers still remaining, so we need to push on here with our riders, but Suzuki seems to be okay with just chilling in the middle of this peloton. It's not looking good here for us as we're trying to move forward here with the team. Other riders already sprinting. We are too far back here once again in this mass sprint. I tried to move forward here in this race, but gee, it just seems too difficult here for our riders to do a whole lot. You see Katsura doing everything in his power to just move forward, but once again not gaining any positions here on the riders here in front of us, and the other riders sprint away once again towards a finish where we are playing no part in. So rough race once again here by Hino, who sprint a little bit better here, using his energy a little bit more effectively here. But in the end, around the 20th place once again here for our riders. We do defend our position in the general classification, those 3 bonus seconds, meaning that we are still in 7th here with our rider Suzuki. The 1 bonus second that he got, not enough to defend his position, so he's moving down a couple. And the remainder of our riders either moving up or down a couple of positions. Nothing too spectacular for them, as other riders struggled here at the finish of this race. We just want to defend that top 10 position. We see us also moving down in the team classification, as we are not doing very well there, but that's all right. That's not our goal here for today. We want to keep that top 10 position here in this race, and with 2 stages left to go, it's looking like we're doing a pretty okay job. All we need to do is get any bonus seconds that we can get, and in the 4th stage here, there are no bonus seconds, so it will be a very tricky scenario here for us to try and maintain that top 10 position in this race. Once again, it is teeing up for a mass sprint, but once again, it is another hilly section there towards the end, so it will be very tricky here for us in today's race. No breakaway for us either, as I know the breakaway will not make it towards the end. You see me teeing up Shinkai to try and fend off any breakaway attacks that will happen, just in case. You never know, maybe he can get a good result here in this stage, but he cannot move forward here in the peloton, so I'm just gonna let him relax here in this peloton, try to maintain his position. Same here for Hino. We will protect him towards the end of this race, and we'll see from there how we will do in the mass sprint. Nothing too spectacular here for us in this race, as we are just positioning ourselves in the peloton, letting other riders here in the breakaway go. You see me trying to send out Shinkai once again. Maybe if he can be in the breakaway, maybe the breakaway will move all the way towards the end. Maybe he can get a good result. I highly doubt it, but it's better to take that chance and gain a victory than not take a chance and see the breakaway just get all the way towards the finish line without a rider of us in it. Moving now again once again towards that last 9 kilometers of this stage. You see us struggling here to get towards the front in this downhill section. 2 of our riders are absolutely exhausted. Once again, Shinkai, who was part of that breakaway for a little bit, tired as well. The breakaway obviously did not make it towards the end. No one is surprised there, as we do get a little bit of a gap here towards riders in the back here. You see a lot of riders actually struggling here with this mountainous terrain, struggling with the couple of stages that they have already had here with 4 kilometers remaining. We are pushing everything that we have here to get towards the front of this peloton. You see a lot of our riders just trying to make it through here. We are in pretty good position, less than 3 kilometers remaining, so we still have a bit to go, and I'm burning my riders rather quickly here, moving Katsura here onto the front of this peloton. But you see here now, with 1.5 kilometers to go, how tricky it is for our riders. Hino sprinting along with many of these other sprinters, but he loses out on this energy much too quickly. No chance for him to pass any of the other riders. Not enough stamina here for our Japanese rider. At least the sprint here was much better than many of the other stages, as you can see. Thank you, commentator, for finally saying stuff. And he gets across the line again around the 20th position. 21st here for Hino, getting a gap on many of the other riders, however, so I'm hoping that that will propel him forward in the top 10. Maybe some of these other riders that were in the top 10 were struggling, and that means that he can move up a couple of positions. But no, the other riders who got across the finish line, getting those top 3 positions, got those bonus seconds, and move Hino one place down, now currently in 8th, so we're closer and closer to losing that top 10 position. The bonus seconds, or the in-between bonus seconds, are of such importance for us, and now 2 stages later where we had no bonus seconds at all to get, except for at the finish line, we were unable to get any progression here in the general classification with Hino. Suzuki also moving down a couple of places, now in 13th, so 2 riders in a top 15 position, where we have a shorter stage of 92 kilometers with another intermediate sprint where we're hoping to get some bonus seconds. Morimoto is our only rider here up front in this peloton. I would have preferred it to be Hino, as again, bonus seconds would be good for us here in this race. And I want to cover off here the breakaway that is going to try and form. The peloton's tight on their heels though, so I'm sure they won't let us escape, especially with these riders that are going forward right now. Hopefully I can move Hino a bit forward in the peloton and position him so he can be part of this breakaway. Again, a bit of a smaller stage here today with only 90 kilometers or around 90 kilometers, so nothing too spectacular here, and that should prove well here for our riders. You see Hino a bit towards the back of this peloton, trying to move him a little bit forward. One rider is away here with 37 seconds. That means that it will be tricky for us to even catch up there, as the peloton has let him go, and you see our riders now trying to sprint towards that race line, trying to get towards the line of the intermediate sprint. The one rider is still away, but that does mean that Hino can get 2 additional bonus seconds here in this race. As he's only 6 seconds off the lead, I'm hoping that this will either propel him a little bit forward or keep his position in the general classification. Again, depending on who will get those bonus seconds at the end of this stage, as we have 9 kilometers left to go. Abe absolutely exhausted. He is our mountain rider with terrible statistics today, as most of our team is not looking super great here in this tour. Moving on now with our mountain riders, trying to make sure that they cover off or do as much of a lead out here with our riders as possible in this stage, trying to move us forward here in this race. A lot of riders already moving forward. Again, it seems that there's a small gap here towards the front of this race. We're trying to cover it off here, trying to push forward. I don't know how they keep moving so fast and so far away from us every single time. I need to do a small attack there with Shinkai to even try and get into a better position here with our riders. Suzuki now trying to move forward here in this race. Once again, you see him positioned now towards the front of the sprint train, but it's very, very tricky here for us, as other sprinters already driving now their legs forward towards this finish line. Katsura lost so many positions here in the last kilometer of this stage. Hino trying to push everything in his legs towards that finish line, trying to get as good of a position as possible in this stage, but it's not looking like a top 10 once again here for Hino. Where does he get across the finish line? Maybe a top 20? Yes, a 17th position here, the best position for Hino in this tour so far. So great job here by Hino, progressing actually in this tour better and better. 17th position is the best position he's got in any of the stages. Top 20 is something to be happy with here by us in this stage. No points for that, but we do manage to keep that top 8 positions here in that race, so I'm very happy with that. The top 8 here, or top 10 at least for us, should mean some bonus points, or should mean some UCI points. My apologies. It should mean some UCI points, and that is always good for the team. Any points that we can get are welcome here for us. Suzuki moving down 1 position, currently in a top 15 position. So 2 riders in a top 15 is probably the best tour we've done ever, maybe. Not bad for us today. Obviously we wanted to do a little bit better, but a top 10 here with the team was the goal, and we managed to get that goal, so something to be happy with. Still chasing that victory here in these flat stages, but once again it was not in our favor, as Hino is just not a good enough sprinter at this moment. Hopefully he will develop more throughout the season. Now on to the Rutland Melton Cycle Classic. 200 kilometers of cobbles and flat stages. It will be a a horror actually for most of our riders, as we have once again Hino with us, our favorite sprinter, hoping for him to deliver here in this stage. But I think the next couple of stages will be incredibly difficult, as there are hills and a lot of cobbled sections, and once again we don't have a rider that's good on those cobbles, so we might have a team that's better fit for those flat stages, but the cobble sections will still wreck our riders here in today's stage. And you see some hill sections in this stage as well. Again, we are not good on any of those, so this will be a very difficult stage for us today. Our goal is to protect Hino in this race, maybe send Shinkai out to try and cover off a breakaway. Hopefully, if they make it, then Shinkai can get a good result or get a top 10 here in this very difficult stage, and that would be good for us either way. So that's why I'm sending him out to hopefully cover off any breakaway attacks here while we protect Hino in the peloton. I don't think the breakaway will make it here in today's stage. It is far too difficult and far too rough for them to really make it towards the end, but you never know what can happen. 9 kilometers now towards the end of this race. You see how much we have struggled. 3 of our riders are absolutely done. Shinkai, who tried to be part of that breakaway for a while, 13 or almost 14 minutes now behind the number 1. And we are just trying to tee up now for that final sprint. Katsura trying to move up in this peloton. There's a little bit of a group ahead, 8 riders ahead, a little bit of a breakaway that other riders are trying to close down here in this race. So we are just trying to make sure that we are positioned properly. Hopefully other riders will try and decrease that gap in this race, but you see other riders also struggling to close that gap, so we need to put some effort in here ourselves to try and move forward here, try to move towards that breakaway, as the route here apparently is intersecting with the other side. As we are now in the last 3 kilometers here, a little bit of an uphill section where we just try to make sure that we are up front before it goes towards that downhill sprint that we are favoring, hopefully, with our riders. They see the 1 kilometer mark going up there. I sprint rather early here with Hino because I'm hoping that the downhill section will not exhaust his energy too much. The breakaway still, or well, the group that was split off ahead makes it towards the finish line, so no good result for us there. Will we at least get a top 15? It is looking like it. I don't know how many riders are in this group. I think it's 16 total, so we'll probably fall just outside of that top 15 position. Yes, a 16th place here for Hino. Again, not an ideal sprint here for the team. Should have delivered him a little bit later. Should have not spent his energy too quickly. Maybe he could have gone a top 15 or maybe even around a 10th position here in this race, but it is what it is. Again, our Japanese sprinter just not good enough here in these races. He is struggling so much. We're trying to bring him towards the end, but our riders just seem to not have a good enough energy. So for next season, we will need to invest into our team and hopefully get some better riders and make sure that we get a better lead out team here for our riders and make sure that we can actually win some sprints here with the team. That will be the goal for next season. Now let's move on to the Austrian race here with a lot of hills, a lot of difficult sections. If we're talking about difficult races for the team, this is definitely one of them because we don't have any mountain or hill riders that can really get a good result in these types of races. So let's see how we'll do here today in this stage. Again, most of our riders are for the flat stages. We have a little bit of a mountain and hill riders in the team, but honestly, they're not good enough to get a good result here in these types of stages. I brought them along, of course, here with Abe and Morimoto, but Morimoto basically is, especially looking at those statistics, he normally is our best hill rider, but a -2 already is not a great start here for the stage. Again, you see the frames being weird a bit, and you see them stuttering a bit. Don't worry, they'll be fixed after the next cut. So in this stage, we will just sit in the peloton, try to survive. Obviously, I would love to have our mountain and hill riders surviving until the end. Maybe they can get a good result here. I also brought Hino. You never know. Maybe he could do a good sprint here towards the end, but I highly doubt it. We'll try and keep him safe in the peloton and just see how we will be at the end of this race, or closer towards the end of this race, as there's plenty of mountain and hill sections in between those 3 final hills. And heading now with 26 kilometers to go, you see Abe falling off the pack as well. Our mountain rider, surprisingly, Hino is actually the rider that is doing the best out of our team. He has pretty decent statistics today, as you can see, and I just want him to survive here in the peloton. So we just want to, stay here and move up into this peloton and try to stay alive. But the moment that we hit the bottom of this hill, I'm sure Hino will be done. You see the amount of energy that he has left here. It's not a lot, and he will be suffering in these next few mountains that are coming up. Here is the bottom of this hill. You see the moment that he hits it, he has a bit of a struggle to even stay with the peloton, and the last bit of his yellow bar just moves away, the red following soon after, and that is the end here of Hino in this peloton. Other riders also struggling, as you can see here, but the main pack just casually cycling away here. Hino, no energy to follow any of these riders in this stage, and that means that we are fighting to try and finish as quickly as possible in this stage. A lot of issues here for Hino in this final part as well. You see many of our riders following suit behind, trying to just make it towards that finish line here in this stage, trying to get as good a result as possible. Hino here in 89th, Mori and Morimoto, two riders that you shouldn't confuse with each other, as they are two also both hill riders, to be honest, but very different here in age and statistics, finishing a bunch later. So if we look at the statistics of this race, I can tell you, not a great result here. Hino finishing 15 minutes behind the number one in 89th position. Our other riders also finishing around 100. You see here 127th. One rider is unranked. I've not really seen that before, so not really sure what that means. But yeah, understandable that we're losing out against these riders that have just much better statistics than us. You see them in the 70s here, and these statistics just matter here. As long as we don't have any of these statistics, it will be difficult to compete with our team against them. And we shouldn't really choose these hilly stages, but sometimes they are all that we have left here in this race. So not really great for us, these stages, but we want to make sure that we plan enough stages to race in, because it will improve our riders as well. As we have the last stage here of today, very flat stage, plenty of cobbled sections. Once again, you see here all the little white dots in the layout of this race, all different cobble sections that we need to survive. And once again, we are not a team that can deal with these cobble sections very well, so we just hope to survive until the end and try to deliver as good of a sprint as possible. Our main riders that should be responsible for those final sprints are having minus statistics once again. You see Yoshida and Katsura, two of our riders with +2 statistics, but they are generally so bad. They really don't have any good stats here, so those +2 won't really matter here in these races. We'll just try to defend our riders as much as possible, hopefully bring them towards the end of this race, but it will be a very tough one. While a breakaway forms here, tries to ride away, and we just try to sit in the peloton, try to take it slow in this very long race, almost 200 kilometers as well, so very, very difficult stage here, alone without the cobble sections and hill sections in between. And you see here now, most of our team is behind. You see Katsura puncturing as well, just behind this group. Suzuki trying to follow the main peloton while Hino splits off her in this front group. Hino, our best rider, and we still have 133 kilometers to go, already behind the peloton. I'm sure they'll actually make it back towards the peloton as they're not riding super fast. But it will be a very tough day here for our riders, where we have many punctures here with the team. You see two of our riders also coming back, so we finally have a group of 3 riders again here that will join the peloton a little bit later, that can hopefully do a good result here in this stage. But it will be a very tough stage here, with half of our team already gone, still 130 kilometers to go. And when we reach the 65 kilometer mark, Suzuki punctures once again here in this stage. Katsura uses all his energy to try and keep up, and Hino is the only rider remaining in the peloton. 60 kilometers remaining, plenty of cobbled sections, and at the next cobbled section his energy is done for. No chance for him to stay here in the peloton, no chance to keep up here. He tries to survive here in these cobble sections, but a 59 on the cobbles is just horrendous here for our Japanese rider. No chance for him to really do anything here in this stage. He just tried to survive as long as possible, and he will just need to ride out here towards the end all by himself or with a little group here towards this final area. And as you can see here now, 18 minutes behind the front group. No energy remaining here for our Japanese rider, the number 1 Japanese rider of our team, struggling towards that finish line. Plenty of riders have already finished here. You see some other riders finishing in front of us as well. And Hino here gets across the line at 65th position, so a little bit better actually than the previous one-day stage, but still a 65th position is not great here for the team. Not able to keep up with any of these riders. The stats are just so much worse than most of these riders, so no chance for us. We tried to do our best, we tried to get a decent result here, but the cobbled stats here in this stage just breaking us apart, and unable to get a good result here with any of our riders. 18 minutes and 15 seconds behind the number one, so never really stood a chance here in this race, but obviously we need to participate and try to do our best here, try to see if we can get any results, maybe get an upset, get some surprises here and there, get some additional UCI points, get some experience in these stages as well. It's important to do that, and try to develop our riders as far as we can, you know, try to get them a little bit better, so maybe one day we can get that victory here with this team. We're still searching for that victory at the end of all these stages. No great successes here. The French race in the end with the top 10 was our best result. And after these races, I've also received the news that Abe is retiring after this season, so we'll have to look and replace him at the end of this season. As well, our oldest mountain rider will no longer be part of the team after this season. And it means that we end up with only 3 additional points here. The top 10 at the Tour de Loire et Cher gave us 3 points. That means we have now 60 total points, so not a great result here for the team. Not really what we wanted here. We wanted to get more points. We wanted to get better results, obviously, but these stages and these races are much too difficult for us. We are in the 130th position in the team rankings now, just below a couple Dutch teams here, as you can see, above a Korean team here, so that's always good. Our rivals there, and we obviously want to move up, but 130th position is it for now, so we'll try to do better in the next episode, which features plenty more races, a lot of longer stage races as well, so I hope you look forward to that. That's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 3 of our challenge to get Velolien Matsuyama back towards Tour de France, or get them towards the Tour de France even, not back. They've never been there. How fun would it be for them to ride a Tour de France or ride a Grand Tour stage? That would be amazing. So we'll hope to get there one day, but for now we'll keep struggling here in these lower races, trying to get a victory or try to get any results. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this episode. Hopefully I will see you guys again in the next one. Take care and see you next time. Goodbye.